everyone, and welcome back. We're diving deep into DMARC today.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I know, right? We're going to try to figure out just what it is,
Right.
why it matters so much, and how it actually works.
Yeah.
I know cybersecurity can be a bit much sometimes, you know?
Totally.
Like a dense forest
Yeah.
full of acronyms and technical jargon. But stick with us, all right?
Please.
By the end, you'll not only get DMARC, but also why it's relevant to anyone using email.
Which is pretty much all of us.
Right, pretty much everyone.
That's right. I mean, you use email for everything now.
Oh, I know it.
Banking, shopping, connecting with friends.
Everything.
It's everything.
It really is.
DRC is kind of like a silent guardian, working behind the scenes
I like that.
to keep your inbox a safer place.
Okay, so Silent Guardian. Let's start with the basics. What is DRC exactly?
So DMARC stands for Domain-Based Message Authentication Reporting and Conformance.
Okay.
It's essentially a set of instructions that tell email providers how to handle messages
Okay.
that claim to be from your domain, but might not be legit.
So like having a VIP bouncer for your email,
Yeah,
only those on the list get in.
that's a great analogy.
Thanks.
DMARC helps prevent those sneaky phishing emails
Ugh, I hate those.
from even reaching your inbox.
Oh, really?
You know, the ones that look like they're from your bank
Yes.
or a trusted retailer,
Yeah.
but they're actually trying to steal your info.
Oh, that's so sneaky.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense. But how does DMARC actually work?
it is pretty ingenious.
Okay.
Every time you send an email,
Huh?
the message contains info about the sender's domain.
Okay, the part after the @ symbol
Right, exactly.
in the email address.
DMARC uses this to verify
Okay.
if the email really came from where it claims to be from.
So it's like checking if the sender is who they say they are.
That's a good way to put it.
Like verifying an ID at the door.
Yeah.
But what if the email fails this check? What happens then?
That's where the power of DMARC comes in.
Ooh.
You, as the owner of the domain,
Okay.
you get to decide
Ooh.
what happens to those suspicious emails.
Okay.
So you can choose to have them rejected outright, quarantined to a spam folder, or even just monitored for further investigation.
So you have a lot of control.
Yeah, a lot of control.
It's not just passively hoping for the best.
Right.
You're actually taking charge of your email security.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
And this level of control is a game changer.
Yeah, especially these days
Especially now.
when email is like the main target
Yeah.
for all these phishing and spoofing attacks.
Definitely.
This is fascinating. I'm starting to see why DMARC is such a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
But to really understand it,
Yeah.
I think we need to talk about
Be sure.
those two other security protocols,
Okay.
SPF and DKIM.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so before we get into the nitty-gritty of DMARC, we need to lay some groundwork with these other protocols,
Yes.
SPF and DKIM.
They're very important.
I'm ready to learn more about how they fit into this whole email security puzzle.
Absolutely. Understanding them is key to grasping the full power of DMARC.
Okay.
Imagine them as the foundation upon which DMARC is built.
Okay, the foundation.
Yeah, they both address email authentication,
Okay.
but in slightly different ways.
Okay, so two different pieces of the puzzle.
Right.
I'm all ears.
Hey.
Let's start with SPF. What's the story behind this one?
Okay, so SPF, or Sender Policy Framework,
Okay.
is essentially like posting a list of approved senders
Okay.
for your domain.
Okay.
Think of it like a guest list for your email server.
So if I'm sending an email from my company domain,
Yes,
my company's email server would check this guest list
exactly.
to see if I'm actually allowed to send emails from that domain.
Precisely. And if your email server
Right.
isn't on the approved list,
Oh.
the receiving server might get suspicious
Okay.
and flag the email and potential spam,
Yeah.
or even block it completely.
Oh, wow.
This helps prevent spammers
Okay.
from sending emails that appear to be from your domain.
So it's like having a security guard checking IDs at the door.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
Make sure everyone's supposed to be there.
Exactly.
That makes sense. So SPF helps prevent someone from sending emails pretending to be from my domain.
Yes.
But what about DKIM?
Okay.
How does that protect me?
DKIM, which stands for Domain Keys Identified Mail.
Okay.
It's a bit more technical.
Okay.
It's like adding a tamper-proof seal to your email.
Oh.
Imagine a letter with a wax seal.
Yeah.
It guarantees that the letter hasn't been opened or tampered with in transit.
Okay, so it hasn't been messed with along the way.
Right.
Okay, that sounds important.
It is.
We've all heard stories about emails being intercepted
Oh, yeah.
and tampered with.
Uh-huh.
So DKIM helps prevent that
Yeah.
by attaching a unique digital signature to my emails.
Exactly.
Okay. And this signature is linked to my domain name and can be verified by the receiving server.
That's right.
If the signature is valid,
Yes.
the receiving server knows that the email truly came from my domain and hasn't been modified.
Correct.
So DKIM is like a guarantee of authenticity,
It is.
ensuring the email is the real deal.
Right.
But I'm curious, we have SPF checking the sender and DKIM verifying the email itself.
Yeah.
Why do we even need DMRC if we already have these two?
That's a great question.
Thanks.
And one that highlights the key role DMRC plays.
Oh, okay.
While SPF and DKIM are both fantastic security measures, they don't provide a way for domain owners to tell receiving servers what to do with emails that fail their checks.
Oh.
That's where DMRC steps in.
So it's like having all these security measures in place, but without a control center to actually manage them?
Exactly.
DMRC is that missing piece, providing the instructions and the control.
That's right.
Okay. I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Good.
But I think we need to dive a little deeper into SPF and DKIM.
We do.
Before we get back to DMRC.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Sounds good. Let's unpack SPF first. It's all about defining those authorized senders. For your email domain, think of it like setting up a guest list for a party.
Oh, okay. I like that analogy.
Only those on the list are allowed in.
Right. Makes sense.
In the email world, this list is a special record.
Okay.
Called the SPF record.
The SPF record. Got it.
Yeah, so if you're sending an email from your domain, the receiving server is going to check your domain's SPF record to see if your email server is actually allowed to send emails from that domain.
So it's double checking, basically.
It's like someone showing up at the party.
Yeah.
Without being on the guest list.
Without being on the list.
They might not get in.
Okay, so SPF helps prevent someone from sending emails pretending to be from my domain.
Yes, exactly.
But what about DKIM? How does that protect me?
Okay, so DKIM is like adding a unique tamper-proof seal.
Okay.
To each email you send, imagine a letter with a wax seal.
Oh, yeah.
It guarantees that the letter hasn't been opened or tampered with.
Right, so it hasn't been messed with along the way.
Right.
Okay.
DKIM uses cryptography to do something similar with your emails.
So it's adding like an extra layer of security, basically.
It is, yeah. Making sure that the content of the email hasn't been messed with.
Okay, but how does it actually work? Cryptography sounds kind of complicated.
It might sound complex.
Yeah.
But the concept is pretty straightforward.
Okay.
When you send an email using DKIM, your email server uses a private key, like a secret code, to generate a unique digital signature for that specific email.
So each email gets its own little signature.
It does, and it's tied to your domain name.
But how does the receiving server know if the signature is valid?
Good question. That's where the public key comes in.
Okay, the public key.
Yes. It's like having a lock that can only be opened by a specific key.
Oh, okay.
And you publish this public key in your domain's DNS records, making it accessible to everyone.
So the receiving server uses my public key.
Uses your public key, which is publicly available.
Right, which is out there.
To verify the digital signature.
Okay.
That was created by your private key.
Which only I have access to.
That only you have access to.
Gotcha. So if they match, then the email is authentic.
Yes. And it hasn't been tampered with.
That's pretty clever.
It is.
I like it.
And the best part is, all of this happens behind the scenes.
Oh, good.
You, as the sender or receiver, you don't see any of this complicated cryptographic magic.
Oh, thank goodness.
But it's working hard to protect you.
That's good to know. I appreciate that.
So SPF and DKIM, they seem like a powerful duo.
They do.
But how does DMRC build on this foundation? We touched on this earlier.
And we did.
But I'm ready to dive deeper.
Me too.
Okay, so while SPF and DKIM are great at verifying senders and email integrity, they don't give you the domain owner much control over what happens if an email fails those checks. That's where DMRC comes in to take charge.
So it's like having a security system with all the bells and whistles.
Yes.
But no control panel to actually manage it.
Exactly.
So DMRC is that control panel.
It is.
Giving you the power to set the rules.
Yes.
I like that a lot.
So DMRC lets you define policies for how receiving servers should handle emails that fail SPF or DKIM authentication.
So if they don't pass the test?
Right, and you can tell them to reject those suspicious emails outright.
Oh, wow, right away.
Send them to a spam folder for further review, or simply monitor them without taking any action.
So you're not just detecting a problem, you're actually deciding how to deal with it.
You are.
That's a huge step forward.
It is.
Can you give us a real-world example of how DMRC could protect someone?
Absolutely. Imagine you're a small business owner.
Yeah.
And someone is trying to send phishing emails to your customers.
Oh.
Pretending to be from your company.
That's no good.
Without DMRC, those emails could easily slip through, potentially tricking your customers into giving up sensitive information.
Like passwords and credit card details?
Exactly.
Oh, that's a scary thought.
It is. It could really damage a business's reputation.
Yeah.
If customers think their information has been compromised.
Right, because of a phishing scam.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
But with DMRC in place,
Yeah.
you can set a policy to reject any email
Okay.
that fails SPF or DKIM authentication.
So it just stops it right there.
It does. It would effectively block those phishing emails
Okay.
from ever reaching your customers' inboxes,
Wow.
protecting both your customers and your company's reputation.
That's incredible. It's like having a personal bodyguard
Yes.
for your email domain.
It is.
Intercepting those malicious emails before they can do any harm.
That's a great way to put it.
Thanks. But what about the other actions, quarantine and monitor?
Yeah.
When would you use those instead of just rejecting suspicious emails?
That's a great question. The reject policy is the most stringent.
And it's great for blocking known threats.
Okay.
However, sometimes you might want to start with a less aggressive approach,
Okay.
especially when first implementing DMRC.
So you don't want to just jump in with both feet.
Right. Start slow and gradually increase the security level
Gotcha.
as you gain more confidence in your setup.
Makes sense.
Quarantine is a good option for suspicious emails
Okay.
that you're not entirely sure about.
Okay.
It sends them to the recipient's spam folder, where they can be reviewed manually if needed.
Okay, so it's not blocking them completely,
Right.
but it's adding like an extra layer of scrutiny.
Exactly. And then there's reject, which is the most stringent policy.
The strictest one.
It tells receiving servers to block any email
Okay.
that fails DMRC authentication.
So reject is like having the security guard
Yes.
turn those suspicious individuals away at the door.
Exactly.
Okay, I like these analogies.
Choosing the right policy depends on your specific needs
Right.
and risk tolerance. Some organizations might prefer a more cautious approach,
Yeah.
starting with quarantine
Uh-huh.
and gradually moving toward reject
Okay.
as they gain confidence in their DMRC implementation.
So it's like finding the right balance
It is.
between security and convenience.
Exactly.
You want to protect yourself from threats,
Yes.
but you don't want to accidentally block any legitimate emails.
Right. That's why those DMRC reports are so valuable.
Okay. The reports tell you what's going on.
They do. They give you the insights you need to make informed decisions
Okay.
about your policies
All right.
and ensure that you're striking the right balance.
So you're essentially collecting data and learning about the patterns of emails coming from your domain.
You got it. And this helps you make informed decisions
Okay.
about how to adjust your DMRC policies
Okay.
to be most effective.
So it's all about having the information you need
It is.
to make smart choices about your email security.
Exactly. But all this talk about setting policies and analyzing reports might sound a bit technical.
It does sound a little technical.
How easy is it for someone who isn't a cybersecurity expert
Right.
to actually implement and use DMRC?
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah,
It all sounds very powerful,
it is.
but I'm wondering how user-friendly the whole process is.
That's a really important question. DMRC is a powerful tool, but like any tool, you got to use it correctly.
Yeah, Joe.
One potential downside is if your DMRC policy is too strict,
Okay.
you could accidentally block legitimate emails.
Oh, no, you don't want that.
Yeah, from reaching your inbox.
So how do you avoid that? What's the best way to ease into DMRs?
The key is to start with what's called monitoring mode.
Monitoring mode. Okay.
Your DMRC record tells receiving servers to track email activity,
Okay.
but not to take any action based on those authentication results.
So it's like a trial run.
It's like having a security guard observe and take notes on who's coming and going, but not actually stop anyone from entering.
Gotcha. So you're essentially gathering data
Yes, you are.
and learning about your email traffic patterns
Right.
before you actually start enforcing any policies.
That's before you start enforcing, yeah.
Makes sense. So you start with monitoring, and then you can gradually ramp up the security level
Good guy.
as you go. But what are the different levels of enforcement you can choose from?
The two most common enforcement actions are quarantine and reject.
Okay, quarantine and reject.
Quarantine is like sending suspicious emails to a holding area,
Okay.
like the recipient's spam folder.
Okay, so it's not blocking those emails completely,
Not completely.
but it's adding an extra layer of scrutiny.
Exactly. And then there's reject. which is the most stringent policy. It tells receiving servers to block
right away
any email that fails DMARC authentication.
So reject is like having the security guard turn away those suspicious individuals.
That's the story.
Right there. No entry.
Exactly.
Okay, so choosing the right policy depends on your needs.
It does your specific needs and risk tolerance.
Okay, makes sense.
Some organizations might prefer a more cautious approach, starting with quarantine and gradually moving towards reject as they gain confidence in their DMARC implementation.
So it's like finding the right balance.
It is.
Between security and convenience.
Exactly.
You want to protect yourself.
You do.
But you don't want to accidentally block any legitimate emails.
Right. That's why those DMARC reports are so valuable.
Okay, so they give you the insights you need to make informed decisions.
Yes, about your policies and ensure you're striking the right balance.
But DMARC isn't a set it and forget it solution, right?
No, it's not.
It's an ongoing process.
It is.
That requires attention and adjustments over time.
It does, because the threat landscape is constantly evolving.
Oh, yeah, things are always changing.
Cyber criminals are always looking for new ways to exploit vulnerabilities.
Right, new ways to cause problems.
And email authentication methods are no exception.
So what does it mean to maintain DMARC?
It's all about staying vigilant and proactive. You want to regularly review your DMARC reports to identify any unusual patterns or potential issues.
Right, so you're looking for anything suspicious?
Right, and stay informed about the latest threats and best practices in email security.
Okay, so keep learning, basically.
Keep learning, yeah, and don't be afraid to adjust your policies as needed.
So you're constantly adapting?
Yes, to ensure you're maintaining a strong security posture.
So it's like any other security measure.
It is.
You need to stay informed, adapt to changes, and make sure your defenses are always up to date.
Exactly.
But the good news is with DMARC, you have the tools and the knowledge to do just that.
DMARC puts you in control of your email security.
Okay, I like that, being in control.
And it can significantly reduce the risk of phishing, spoofing, and other email-based attacks.
This has been an incredible deep dive into DMARC.
It has been.
I feel like I've learned so much about how email security works.
Good, Naguai.
And the steps we can take to protect ourselves.
Yes, knowledge is power. The more you understand about email security, the better equipped you are to navigate the digital world safely and confidently.
For sure. And for those who are ready to take that next step and implement DMARC for their own domain, we've got some helpful resources in the show notes.
You do.
You'll find links to tools like DMARC Analyzer and Agari.
Great tools.
As well as guides and best practices from organizations like CISA.
Very helpful.
And don't forget, if you have any questions or need assistance along the way, there are plenty of cybersecurity professionals who specialize in DMARC implementation.
They can help.
They can provide personalized guidance and support.
Exactly.
To make sure you're setting up DMARC correctly and getting the most out of it.
Definitely.
So there you have it, DMARC demystified.
Demystified.
It's a powerful yet surprisingly accessible tool.
It is.
That can significantly enhance your email security.
For sure.
By implementing DMARC, you're not only protecting yourself, but also contributing to a safer online environment for everyone.
That's right. Every step we take to improve our own security helps strengthen the collective defenses.
I like that.
Against cyber threats, it's all about working together to create a more secure and trustworthy digital world.
Well said. That's it for our deep dive into DRC. We hope you found it informative and empowering. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and stay secure.